Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good day I bid to all of the viewers out there. Welcome to ICAR 2022. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am Haji Aisyah binti Haji Othman from Pusat Tingkatan 6 Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Keladi, Kulim, Kedah Darul Aman. The title of my action research for today is Educational TikTok, Do-It-Yourself, DIY, and 3R, Reduce, Reuse, and Recycle project for oral presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, speaking skill is one of the components of the Malaysian University English Test MUET, and it will carry 25% of the total from 100% in MUET CFR. As this skill is challenging as the other skills like reading, listening, and writing, I have to make sure my students are well versed in using correct spoken English to be used in the examination or daily usage. From the reflection of teaching and learning, my students stated that they were shy and lack of confidence while speaking English. Not only that, they were also afraid of making mistakes. My students also commented that they were unable to use appropriate vocabulary. Arbain and Dadai Rahman 2017 stated that to accomplish the aim of spoken English is difficult as it involves many tasks to be achieved. For instance, monitoring and understanding other speakers, and thinking about one's contribution and vocabulary to be applied. Ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned just now, students were shy and lack of confidence while using English for their communication skills. Because of that, I have to come up with an intervention activity to help my students. Let us now look at the research aim of my action research. My action research is the study of an intervention activity in teaching and learning process between the educator and learners. It involves the subject unit of English language for Form 6 students. What are the objectives of my research? The specific objective of my research is that the teacher and students would be able to carry it out one DIY and 3R project-based learning using the educational TikTok application. Based on the video, observation will be done using a special rubric assessment criteria to assess the students' progress. Let us look at the research question. For number 1, how does educational TikTok video in DIY and 3R project-based learning assist students in their speaking skills or oral presentation? Number 2, to what extent does educational TikTok video in DIY and 3R project-based learning improve students' achievement in their speaking skills or oral communication? Number 3, how does educational TikTok video in DIY and 3R project-based learning assist students' interaction in a group task? Let us look at the research method and design. I'm using an action research model established by Camis and McTaggart 1988. This model describes the design of the implementation of an action research, which comprises of the planning, intervention, or action, observation, and reflection process. Ladies and gentlemen, the planning process is based on the reflection of teaching and learning that has been carried out. The action will make sure that the researcher introduced an invention of the educational TikTok video application in DIY and 3R project-based learning as the teaching aid. For the observation, I'm using video assessment, document analysis, unstructured interviews, and classroom observation. And based on that, we will carry out a reflection whereby we have to identify what are the lessons learned from this action research for the students and teachers. Ladies and gentlemen, this action research involved different types of instrumentation. I had used document analysis to identify the task execution, organization, and language used by the learners in educational TikTok video. Then the interview session is to evaluate the usage of the educational TikTok in order to improve speaking skill. Number 3, to examine the progress of the students in using educational TikTok speaking, I use video analysis and observation in the classroom. All of the viewers out there, let us look at the findings. For number 1, how does educational TikTok video in DIY and 3R project-based learning assist students in their speaking skills or oral presentation? My findings shows that the students perform better in the assessment criteria allocated in Analysis 2 compared to the Analysis 1. It shows that educational TikTok in completing DIY and 3R project base can assist students in improving their oral presentation and speaking skills. The reason is that they have the chance to practice and record according to their preferences. Next, ladies and gentlemen, how does educational TikTok video in DIY and 3R project-based learning assist students' interaction in a group? I did ask the question to my students during the lesson, and some of my students responded that I enjoy the presentation using social media with my classmates, so I did my best. I also have the chance to practice with others and use better English. This is the response from other students. Next, I will try to speak with confidence because I can practice with my friends. Ladies and gentlemen, to what extent does educational TikTok video in DIY and 3R project-based learning improve students' achievement in their speaking skills or oral presentation? According to my interview sessions, video assessment, and document analysis with the selected students, the findings portrayed that the students enjoyed the whole process. They mentioned that they were able to communicate and interact with their peers. Not only that, with the usage of educational TikTok video, they had the chance to develop their creativity but also improve their social skills. These are the findings of my research, ladies and gentlemen. My students really enjoyed the session. We can also see creativity being explored here. Ladies and gentlemen, let us look at the reflection of my action research. Generally, students are delighted and excited in using educational TikTok video while presenting. As an educator, I feel more confident and looking forward to the lesson as I have created my teaching aids. From the perspective of the students, during the teaching and learning process, students are becoming independent and responsible for their learning. The students have to accomplish the task given by the help of any available resources. My student agreed that educational TikTok do assist them in presenting their projects. Ladies and gentlemen, for the teacher's reflection, as a teacher, I always feel proud and awesome if I can share a new method to improve my students' learning strategies or process. I believe with the educational TikTok video learning method, students will improve their speaking skills and oral presentation. My students did enjoy the session, and I also happy when I did this intervention. Ladies and gentlemen, for the reflection of teaching and learning, it shows that meaningful experience learned by learners while accomplishing the DIY and 3R project base is beneficial and vital as students and I can reach the right. My students need assistance from me to achieve purposeful learning. At the same time, I have to learn, unlearn, and relearn in order to progress in the teaching methodologies. Ladies and gentlemen, for the future research, I would like to carry out different types of action research, for example, hip-hop education and using digital tools. Ladies and gentlemen, I have carried out different types of project and action research with my students. So if you are interested to know about the progress and the documentation, you can check it out. My link, Teacher Aisha. I have different types of digital platform in order to share my findings. That's all for now. Assalamualaikum.